Briggs from the Bruce Company taking your calls at 270-9933. You brought some.
I brought some color.
Yes,
Don't we need a little bit of spring after the temperatures?
14 below, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm thinking tulips.
Yeah, we're starting to see like little potted up bulb stuff, force things in the garden center, and there are always primroses, which I think are wonderful this time of year and come in a whole bunch of colors.
And they last forever.
They do last forever, and they like a cool temperature, so you can put it like on a kitchen windowsill. Makes doing the dishes just a little pleasant, a little more pleasant.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to the calls. We will start with Audrey in Janesville. Hi, Audrey.
Hi.
What's your question?
Hey, I had some tomatoes planted in some big barrels last summer, and they had gotten blight. My question is, can I use that soil and just dump it in my flower gardens?
Most of the tomato diseases are pretty specific to tomatoes. So yeah, if you want to put that in your perennial garden or something like that, it should be fine, and you would get new soil for the tomatoes. And think about maybe putting some hay or some mulch on the top of those planters, because that'll keep the diseases from splashing up when there's rain.
Okay, let's go to Joan in New Glarus. Hi, Joan.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Last summer, my vegetable garden flooded, and it remained underwater for a couple of months. Is there anything that I should be adding or doing to the soil to get ready to plant vegetables this year?
Well, you could certainly work in some compost or something if you kept some leaves, some shredded leaves to sort of improve the drainage. If you think it's going to be a perennial problem, what you could do too is build up like a box and use sort of an elevated garden, and that would get the vegetable roots out of the lower kind of place where it drains. In general, like a low spot in your yard is not the best place to put a veg garden if we're going to have a rainy winter or a rainy summer.
And we seem to be beginning.
Yeah, that seems to be happening more and more. So.
All right, Keith in Madison. Hi, Keith.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. What's your question?
I've had this umbrella plant for 18 years, unbelievably, and it's lost a lot of its leaves and, stems or branches, and right now it's like drooping really bad. I'd hate to see this thing go, but any suggestions?
It's not the best time of year to be up-potting, so it sounds like maybe the soil in your pot is depleted. So if you carefully take the plant out and sort of tease at the roots and then put it back in the same pot with some new soil, that will help keep some moisture in there. But you don't want to put it in a bigger pot this time of year. As plants go dormant, they use a lot less water, and you don't want wet roots to cause any kind of rotting issue. So kind of refresh the soil, but don't put it in a bigger pot right now. You'd want to do that maybe March.
The soil does wear out.
The soil does wear out, absolutely.
Okay, let's go to Chris now in DeForest. Hi, Chris.
Hi. I have a bag of tulip bulbs that I didn't get a chance to put into the soil. They kind of been in the garage keeping cool, but is there something I can do to help them plant them and grow this spring?
If you put them, if you touch them and they're still hard and not getting soft and icky, then you can go ahead and plant them in the spring in your yard. They probably won't flower. Or if they're still solid, you could plant them in pots now. They've probably been cold enough to be forced, and then you could have them in the pots and growing for flowers now.
What size pot?
When you force, you can see that this has 3 bulbs in it. It's a pretty small pot for how many bulbs are in here.
Yeah, because tulip bulbs, they're pretty big.
They're about, as big as a 50-cent piece sometimes. So yeah, you can put them pretty much cheek by jowl in a pot with some good well-draining potting soil, and they've probably had their dormancy period since they've been in the garage.
Okay, and then go in the ground in the spring.
And then after they're done, then save them and then put them in the ground in the spring.
If you're on the line, stay there. Lisa will talk to you off the air. Thank you all for calling. Thank you for braving the cold.
Thank you.